Do I need to do that too?
No, it's all good.
Okay.
Well, you can if you want to, Vince.
I feel left out. It's just bravo. Bravo.
Episode 5, recap show.
Anyone out there that has a business that has a lot of features, don't make the mistake I made. I always like to show the money I made for myself. So It's not like, I want to do this thing. I don't know if it's going to work. Mm-hmm. So this is what happened on the webinar I did. This is how many people came. This is what, and it hit every time. Like everybody hit on that webinar.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 5 of the DM recap show.
5 already?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Quite the journey. It's been quite the journey.
It's been fun though, Mike.
It's been fun, as always, with Vince Reed, the star of the show.
Well, I mean, like I said, it wouldn't be possible without you, Mike.
I appreciate it. I'm Mike, by the way.
And you're looking real swole in that T-shirt.
Hey.
It's all those ladies DMing through the.
Of course, Vince is going to give a couple jabs. I'll take it.
And he got the fresh haircut too.
I did. It was getting a little.
Ladies, listen.
A little too much.
I'm start charging. We should start an OnlyFans for you.
Whoa. Thank you for joining us on this show. As always, we're going to be diving deep into what actually happened in the episode, things that were left out, and things that I'm sure you, the audience, wants to know. So we're going to start off with the guy at the event.
He's probably crying after watching that episode.
You were, I'm sure you're trying to hold it back watching that guy up there.
Oh, I was younger then too,
Right.
So back then when you're young, you don't have the same patience and calm about yourself.
Right.
So it took the life of me to not say something and grab him by sorry. Calm down. I won at the end though, right? I won in the end. That's all that matters.
So in that moment, what helped you kind of switch and push all the energy into, I believe you said you went back, wrote the business plan on a napkin, right? So what helped you make that switch? So
again, all of this stuff, I know people watching this, even when I'm watching, I'm like, I can't believe this stuff really happened. These things happened, you guys. And when I left and I went back to where we ate, and on the napkin I wrote how I was going to execute quickly. What he did was he actually helped me, because I don't know if he wouldn't have done that. I was kind of we're going to launch this company. You kind of go through the motions, but he made me speed everything up. So, it was like I called the developer, hey, we got to get this done. What is it going to take to launch faster? This guy just went up and, told the story. So everybody, I had everyone fired up to the point where they thought he was going to launch the next day. Wow. So it kind of got everybody wired.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, you were saying that he had a whole different business plan.
Yeah.
And yours was completely.
Yeah. I mean, and anyone that knows the app industry, it's a total different thing. What we were doing, which is why it inevitably got shut down. It's just not an easy thing to do. I mean, think about it. Imagine going into the app store and every human on the earth has an app. It would be really difficult to find anything. Right. That's not the purpose of the app store. And they had to regulate.
Right.
They had to regulate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it had to be useful.
Right.
Is what you said.
Right.
It has to be useful. You meet up with your development team in Vegas, right? So you bring your girlfriend, now your wife at the time, and how is that? How is that whole trip? Because you meet Mr. X as well.
Fellas out there, you got to find you a good woman.
Amen.
You got to find you a good woman. So it was funny. If we back up even before that, when I was single, there was a time when I was single for a few years after I broke up with my college girlfriend, and I got a chance to just see all of my friends dating and going through things, and I got to sit back and watch. And I remember thinking, if I get back in a relationship, I want to be myself, and whoever I'm with, they need to know that just don't come in between my dreams and my goals. Let me be me and get us what I envision for the family. Mm-hmm. As long as you do that, I'm gonna be loyal, I'm gonna be there, but don't stop my hustle. And she never. That's the one thing I can promise you. It's crazy. That's why it's one of those things. It's like in California, it's a 50-50 state, right? Something happens. I'm like, in this case, if something ever happened, this girl would deserve more than 50, because there was a point where I had nothing, and and all the times I had to dip out and leave. Even right now, like you've been out with me. You see other people, they're calling, they're like the girlfriend, I can't go anything. Like, she's just like, do your thing.
It's different.
Yeah, so it's a real big trust factor there. And I think a lot of it is she's been around all of it, right? So she's seen it from the beginning. So that time was cool. I got a chance to flex a little bit. And Mr. X took care of us.
How
like
was
he
that?
Always does.
Well, how was that? Because you mentioned a couple of things. You know, he tells you to go here. Left, right, BABA, start is what you mentioned.
I
like a
still
video
don't
game.
know. Like you were there. I called Mr. X and I told him about it. And he was, always humble, and he's just chill. He's just so chill. But again, even what I'm sharing doesn't do it justice. Like if you've ever experienced Vegas, you know what it's like when you get held up in a line or when you're just in situations that are just ridiculous. Even when you think you have a hookup, it doesn't work out.
Right.
I've never seen it happen with this guy. And yeah, man, he definitely made me look a lot cooler than I really am. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah, it's funny because just right when things are getting good, he dips on to the next location.
He never sticks around for much. Like he'll be there, he'll get you going, then he's gone. Then he'll pop back up. Where'd you go? He's like, are you good? Do something else wild. And then you're like, oh my gosh. And then you're like, forget it for a second. You look back, he's gone. He comes back.
Yeah.
It's wild, man.
You start your webinars, early, and you hit crickets. Like nothing's happening. What did you, now that looking back, what happened then that was not working? And what did you do to tweak it?
Anyone out there that has a business that has a lot of features, don't make the mistake I made. So the app did a lot of things, like from push notifications to text messages to just all these geo-targeting and all this weird, crazy stuff. So the first webinar, I was just trying to list, it does this, and you can do this with it. It does this for your business, and it can do that. And I was just listing all these things. And I think it was just overwhelming for everybody.
Oh, okay.
And then also, I set it up in terms of a price point that I thought was which it was more beneficial for them than the second price point. So I don't remember the exact price, but it was something like under $500 you get the app and like the hosting and the training. Because the cool thing about this app was it wasn't just an app. There was training involved. So I was teaching people how to generate leads inside the app.
Oh, okay.
Right, inside their members area of the app, like how to run ads on apps and all these crazy marketing strategies that people weren't teaching. So people weren't just getting the app just for the app; they were getting it for marketing and everything else, which was cool. So it was like I was charging, I think, like under $500, and then like a low recurring for hosting, and then no one bought. So I was freaking out because we had the affiliate launch coming up, and you never want to have a webinar that no one's buying on that you have to do for other people who want to make money. They're spending their time to invite all these people to the webinar. You go do a webinar, no one buys. They're like, you just wasted all my time. Yeah. So I was freaking out, one, because I was like, oh God, is this even going to work? Do people want it? And two, I don't know if I'm going to look like an idiot when I do this webinar, all these big time marketers, right? So I immediately do an encore. I started sending out emails. It was crazy. The reply we got, we had over 1,600 people registered for the last time, which was all true. Just didn't mention that a lot of people bought. But the hype was really there. Yeah. And, this time, I think it was probably like 300-ish people on this one.
Not as much.
And I changed the price point, and I made it different. This time, you could just get the training. Okay. And it was like what I was paying, what I was charging for the monthly hosting, I charged up front. And then I changed it where you could buy your app inside the platform. Okay. And then I made it where you got a discount. There was a timer, so you could get a discount on the app if you bought it right away, or it was going to go up. Okay. So everyone took it. Like everyone took the recurring, which made the recurring revenue go up.
So was this higher upfront payment?
No. So the new way was like $50, like $47 to get in, right? And that got you the train. But when you got in there, it was like this thing ticking to get your app at a discount. And then I think I sold the app for like $697 or something like that. And then if you didn't buy it then, it went up to like maybe $1,500 or $1,000. Got it. So I just reversed it. Right, but the front end was recurring, so I rebuilt up a really, really large recurring revenue base inside. So it was different. So people were buying for the app, but more for the training first, and that's how I sold it. And I really changed the presentation to more about lead generation and like the future of mobile and how I'm running traffic, on these mobile apps. Yeah. So people wanted that, and then they just ended up all getting the app. And the second those apps got into the hands of people, because we were pushing them out quick, it just took off. That was it was true product market fit. And what product market fit is when people just see it, they willingly share it, they start talking about it, and you generate sales without even doing anything.
Right.
And that was the only time I think I've ever experienced that in business, where I'm just making sales without doing anything. I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy.
You found a good price point, and your customers actually like the app enough to promote it to others.
And then you've got everybody using it, right?
Right.
So now you're doing webinars for all the big hitters in the industry. They've got theirs and they're showing it, and everybody wants to be in the club. It was just a perfect storm.
Right. And that's very important too, because you didn't want to, start doing webinars, as a, guest on other people's audiences, right? Because that's their audience.
Exactly.
You want to make sure
we did that, and then they could see the money I made. I always like to show the money I made for myself. So it's not like, I want to do this thing. I don't know if it's going to work. So this is what happened on the webinar I did. This is how many people came. This is what, and it hit every time. Like everybody hit on that webinar.
So your business is growing and you need some help, right? So you bring on your right-hand man.
Yes.
And how did that come about?
So shout out to my original OG mentor, who has a great mastermind called Thursday Night Boardroom. I definitely got to get more into him in future episodes. But anyhow, at that meeting, a lot of people come there. There's this other guy who was the dad of my right-hand man. He knew what I was doing, and he knew his son who was graduating college and needed some work, and he had some entrepreneurial ideas.
Yep.
So anyhow, he just says, hey, meet with my kid. We meet, and the kid was just hungry, man. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
He's a lot like you. I have to be like, Mike, go have some fun, man. I'm old and I'm pulling him. He just wants to work, but that's good, Now he was a lot like you, just wants to work, wants to put in the work.
I've known we'll call him right-hand man since high school. So really, really great guy.
Another Servite, that's just how we do it.
Stays in the family.
Greedo.
That's right, Connor.
That's how we do it. Yeah.
Behind the ones and twos.
Yeah.
So you wanted to eventually, kind of nurture him into the CEO for Global Apps Network, right? And throughout that time, apps are getting approved, right? But you're starting to see something's off with that.
Yeah.
So tell us more about that.
Yeah, it's just wild. I mean, they were coming in so fast, man. These app sales were coming in so fast, and we were pushing them out just as fast. We were getting really good at delivery. I just wanted to make sure everybody got their app. We would tell them 10 to 14 days, but there was times where they'd have it within a week.
Was this more so on the Apple side versus the Android?
Yeah, I don't even think we ever had an Android app not get approved.
Okay.
Right? But Apple, man, it was just a battle every time. It would be the same thing. We would, it was just stressful. And no one really got mad. They were happy they had their app. We just told them that they were gonna be in both. Right. So that it was more for me. You know how I am.
Yeah.
I want my customers to be served correctly, and I want to do what I say.
You get that email though.
Yeah.
Right.
I got the email, man.
We don't know
what make me cry today, but now you brought it up. Yeah.
I feel like no, but you don't have to say anything.
Okay.
Because we don't know what that email is.
That's true.
It's only
maybe they turned it back on, right?
Maybe they did. I don't know. You got to watch the next episode.
Find out next week
On the DM. Thanks again for watching. We're out.
Later.
Peace.